Happy Wednesday, and welcome to our midweek recap. If you didn't watch the message from Sunday, you're going to want to go back and watch that first. But if you've already watched that, then you can continue on as we recap a little bit about what Bob Fugate shared with us on Sunday. He's an international worker, and it was great to have him available the whole week prior during our missions emphasis week. I enjoyed my time with him, my conversations I had him over for coffee, and just really enjoyed the conversation with him, hearing about his ministry, hearing about what God is doing. Certainly doesn't take long to find out how excited Bob is and how passionate he is about the ministry that God has called him to. So that was fun and awesome to hear, and certainly encouraging for me. But also, it was, I think, interesting to hear as he brought to us the idea of that each of us could be called, each of us can be sent, and to respond, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And I don't know where you're at in that journey with Jesus as you consider the reality that God may be calling you, God may be speaking to you to go. Um, that might be overseas. That certainly is a possibility. You never know, regardless of age or occupation, where God may take you in that. But more than likely, He's going to simply activate you where you are. You don't need to go overseas to find lost people. You don't need to change your location. You don't need to change your job to find people who don't know Jesus, unless you're a pastor, maybe. So, even then, you're still going to come across people who don't know Jesus. And so, I encourage you to consider the reality of the call, that God may be calling you to simply respond, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And He's going to send you to work, and He's going to send you across the street to your neighbor's house, and He's going to send you to the grocery store. And in each of those places, you're going to encounter people who need a touch from the King. And so, be aware, be ready, be available, and have the uh, readiness to accept the call. I know that's a big part of what Bob was communicating with us on Sunday, is to simply be present, be available, be ready, because man, God will take us to some cool places. He'll put us into some difficult situations where we are desperately dependent upon Him, and the impossible will happen. And so I hope that you are willing to accept that call. I hope you look around and realize the importance and the absolute necessity of believers who are willing to say, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And you would be one of them as we engage the culture around us, as we engage the lost people in Du Bois and the surrounding areas. We would passionately follow after this, and we would know where God has called us. We would look around us. One of the things I've encouraged us before, something that I've learned, is to simply look at the areas of influence we already have, where we live, our neighbors around us, where we work, maybe our coworkers, where we learn or where our kids learn, and then hobbies and activities that we have that we can maybe join other people and enter environments. Or maybe we already have people that have similar hobbies to us that don't know Jesus, and to begin to pray for those people in those areas that we have influence. I'd really strongly encourage you to think about those different areas and to begin to very intentionally and prayerfully pray for those people. Identify one specific place where you realize, man, God has given me just a cool position here, or a cool influence with this group of people, whether it's, like I said, where you live, work, play, or learn. And you begin to pray for each person that you have influence with in that area. Ask God to open doors, ask God to reach them with the gospel, ask God to make them curious, to soften their hearts, and see what will happen as you are more intentional in that one area of influence that God has given you, by simply saying, "Here I am, Lord, send me. Send me to work. Send me to the grocery store. Send me across the street to my neighbor's house." And God is going to do some awesome things. I know and trust that to be true. So I hope you walked away from Missions Emphasis Week with an increased desire for engagement in the mission that God has given us, and I pray that God will take you into some amazing places and do some awesome stuff in your life, and you'll begin to see Him move in incredible ways. Calendar wise, we have this Saturday coming up. We have the first of the Constitution Alive classes at 10 a.m. at the church. If you want to jump in on those, we also have this coming Tuesday, the 20th at 7 p.m., a biblical civics class. It is an 8-week course where you'll learn the biblical, historical, and constitutional foundation of freedom. So if either of those interest you, those are the different times. Saturday at 10 a.m., starting this Saturday, the 17th, and Tuesday, the 20th, starting at 7 p.m. So if you'd be interested in that, I'd encourage you to do that. We also have the following Tuesday I think we're going to move the time for the prayer meeting based on what we've heard. We're going to move the prayer meeting to 6:30 for those who have said that a little bit of a later time would work better for them. So we're going to try 6:30 on the 27th for our congregational prayer meeting. We hope that you'll join us for that. And if you didn't realize, today's Valentine's Day. So go out and do whatever you have to do to help show the special someone in your life how much you love them and value them. Or, be bitter and don't do it because you hate Valentine's Day. Whatever floats your boat. I don't know. Each of us feels a different way about Valentine's Day. I know Jackie and I don't really care all that much, but we'll get cards or candy or chocolates for each other sometimes. I did make a little visit to Hockman's today myself. Would encourage you, if you don't have a good chocolate place, head on over to Hockman's. It's awesome. People there are great, and their products are fantastic. If you've never had their chocolate-covered strawberries, you are missing out on life because they're incredible. So that's all I got for us. That's our midweek recap, and I'm really looking forward to preaching again. I feel like I haven't preached it all this year. I think I've only preached twice this entire 2024 so far. So really looking forward to kicking off our new series in James, Faith on the Ground, and looking at the book of James and how it really encourages us to live out our faith in a very real and practical way. I love the book of James. I hope you do as well. What I'm going to encourage you to do is read chapter 1 every day this week. I know I'm a little late on this. I think I forgot to mention it on Sunday, but we're not going to cover the entire chapter, first chapter this coming Sunday. We're going to talk about a little bit about the background, and then we're going to jump into the first few verses of chapter 1. But I encourage you to read chapter 1 every day this week. It's going to take you like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe, if you're a slow reader like me. Shouldn't take you long at all to read through just one chapter. But the more you digest that, the more you read over that. We'll be reading that chapter this week and next week because we'll probably get through chapter 1 next Sunday, not this Sunday. So the more opportunities you have to read through James chapter 1, the better, as you give the Holy Spirit time to speak on that. So I greatly encourage you to do that. We're going to dive into that 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. If you can make it in person, it's always best. But if you can't, you can catch us here online around 11 o'clock or so is when the live stream usually starts with the sermon. But just hang out and wait. And if it doesn't come on right at 11, it just means we haven't reached that part of the service yet. And so we will start streaming closer to the sermon time. God bless you guys. Hope that you have a great week. And I hope winter shows up again. Man, I was really disappointed Tuesday to find out there was no snow. There's supposed to be all this snow, 6 to 9 inches, and they canceled the winter weather, whatever it was, warning on Monday night. So disappointed. Was really looking forward to another solid 9 inches of snow. I bought this winter jacket, and of course, winter ran away ever since I bought a new winter jacket. So figured that would happen. But have a great week. Hope to see you Sunday.